Do you think we could do this whole show today without talking about the offseason?
I mean, we could try.
Who thinks they could do it?
Does that include the Steve Kerr interview? Steve, do we lose you?
Well,
because I mean,
that conversation will go. That'll go where it goes. That'll go where it goes. Although, what the hell is Steve Kerr really going to say about the offseason?
Can't wait to get there.
Yeah, exactly. Like
San Diego, here we go.
Got some Dodger tickets in July.
Oh, don't.
No. I don't think there's certainly not a whole lot he'll say. He might say a little. I don't know. I don't know how that conversation will go. But you think we could do it? You think we could do it? I got a different question that is about this season. And I wonder how each and every one of you would answer it. Here's the premise. The Warriors are now really good. Do we buy that?
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah, really good.
Right now. The Warriors are really good. So, why are they the 10 seed? How would you answer that?
They can't beat good teams. They haven't beaten good teams. They're 5-20 against the top 7. And I guess I cherry-picked where I drew the line, but I kept going further down the standings to find where it would end, and it didn't end. Denver, OKC, Minnesota, the Clippers, Phoenix, New Orleans, they've all cuffed you around, and that's just the way it's gone this year. If you look at their record against the other teams in the association, they're winning 2 out of every 3.
Right.
If they were just decent against the good teams.
Well, this is why I did that. I did that take about a month and a half ago when I said that the Warriors run the risk of being the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA, and people were like, they won 4 rings, and I'm like, I'm talking about this year, defined by a team that largely builds its record by beating bad teams and can't beat good teams. And when you get to the playoffs, what happens to that team? You lose.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys did. They got boat raced off their own field. That might happen. On the other hand, I like to try to at least acknowledge circumstance, process instead of result. Timing is everything. I think even you, Mr. Your record is what it is, would admit that playing the Warriors today is not the same challenge as it was in December. You'd admit that, right?
Yeah, they're much better now.
There you go. So they're a much better team. And they were on the road in Minnesota just a week and a half ago and led the whole way. Yes, they blew it. They do like to do that. They went to L.A. last night. I'm fully aware that Anthony Davis didn't play. That's still a good team. They shot the ball at an unbelievable clip. They won that basketball game. I don't think, let's put it this way, the Warriors are not going to get overwhelmed by any opponent right now. Not overwhelmed. Nobody out there would sweep the Warriors. You don't think that, do you?
Denver might.
Sweep?
Yeah, Denver might.
That surprises me. I don't think that Denver would sweep them.
And Steiny kind of had me back on my heels when he mentioned that they haven't beaten him in 2 years. They swept him this year, and they swept him last year.
Right.
In Denver and here.
Half-court buzzer beater. Let's get circumstance in there. And again, and those games were that Warriors team.
Sure.
And this is this Warriors team.
Right.
And this Warriors team is the one that gets to play next week.
But they have to play this Denver team, which is a better Denver team than that Denver team.
By the way, we don't know that at all.
No, but in this hypothetical, and you asked me who might sweep in the postseason, we're not talking about the offseason.
Warriors are not the only team trying to avoid Denver.
Of course. But you asked me who I think might sweep the Warriors. Okay. I think Denver would be a team that could sweep the Warriors.
Okay.
I think that Denver is better than the Warriors, and I think that the matchup is bad for the Warriors.
Oh, I don't think Denver is better than everybody in the Western Conference.
Exactly.
In my eyes.
Maybe second only to Boston in the association.
Absolutely.
I don't think anybody else would sweep the Warriors.
Okay.
And if Denver and the Warriors face off in the playoffs, and we do our Whitley Sandretto social media prediction thing, I will not predict Denver in 4.
What would you predict?
Denver in 5.
Denver in 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's only, by the way, it's only a gentleman's sweep when the team wins games 1, 2, and 3.
You're right.
I'm not educating you. I'm educating the audience, because the audience seems to think that any 5-game series is a gentleman's sweep. It's not.
It's not.
It's Only when the team wins 1, 2, and 3 and gives you 4 out of the kindness of their heart.
I like your Kyle Shanahan impersonation. I'm here to educate. The more questions, the better.
I'm trying.
I'm here to educate.
And stuff.
You know what that is?
It's an education sensation,
Good
Mark,
job.
is what it is.
Way to finish my sentence again.
Yeah, of course. I'm dialed in today. I'm feeling good.
You are. You're hot.
Hungry, but hot.
888-957-9570. Get this man a sandwich. Y'all should get over to YouTube and look at Dan Dibley.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Look.
Where are you? Dibley is gone. Gone. Today is a first. Today is a first. If you're in the YouTube audience, if you're on Twitch, this has never happened before.
Never.
And I'd lay some coin that it's never going to happen again.
Doubt it.
Today is the first edition ever of Willard and Dibs where both of us are wearing collars. I want to punch myself in the face right now.
Wow.
And
it's my fault.
It is your fault. I taught a class
You're
today.
a professional.
I taught a class.
I had a lunch.
But I have a class again tomorrow, which worries me. Are you going to show up in a collar again tomorrow?
No, I had a lunch today.
Why don't you tell everybody why you're wearing a collar?
Because I had a lunch at Perry's down there in the Embarcadero with an old and dear friend of mine. And I thought, you know what? I'm feeling good. I'm feeling skinny. I'm going to go into my forbidden closet, the closet of shirts that don't fit. And I'm going to pull out one of my collared shirts. This is a shirt for those of you in the YouTube audience.
I've never seen that shirt before.
I've never worn it. I bought it about 3 years ago, and it was snug.
You didn't fit in it right away?
It was snug.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? I can shed about 5, and I can wear this. 1 year by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by.
You are not a human being if you don't have an article of clothing in your closet that you should return, but you didn't because you looked at it and went, it's okay. I'm about to lose 7.
I'm going to get there.
I'm about to lose 7, and I'm going to wear you.
I have a whole drawer full of large T-shirts that I'm close to being able to fit in. So you're going to see a whole bunch of new T-shirts from your boy. Not new as in I just got them, but new as in I haven't worn them since 2019.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
Very, very exciting. But let's get back to it.
Yeah.
Why are they the 10 seed? Let me throw this at you.
Okay.
Couple of things. First of all, I coined a new phrase for the Warriors. Ready for it?
Yep.
Let me see if you can make a T-shirt out of this. Size large. Ready?
You.
Okay. Golden State Warrior basketball. Weakness in numbers.
I don't like that.
Weakness in numbers.
I know what you're saying, but I don't like the slogan. But I know where you're going.
Here's where I'm going.
Too many mediocre players.
Well, you could use the word mediocre if you want.
I did.
I think that when people go, well, Draymond was suspended. Well, actually put that in a bucket with a bunch of stuff. And this is sort of fundamental to the point I've tried to make all year long about Steve Kerr, which is you all get mad at him, and I have sympathy for him. Because I look at that lineup and that group and who's available and who's not and who's consistent and who's not, and 8 players who could all be in a starting lineup or a finishing lineup. Some of them are rookies. 3 months ago, they were just learning, all wet behind the ears. Wiggins is now gone. Now he's back. Kuminga's got Shams on speed dial. Draymond is suspended. And Clay is on a mental journey. And all of you are like, duh, dude, get your rotation set. And I'm looking at this going, I don't know exactly how he's supposed to know from night to night who the hell's going to do what. So he's been tinkering the whole time. And now we've arrived at an answer, it appears.
Yep.
Doesn't include Moses Moody, which is going to mess everybody's brain up again. And I understand that. But this has been very challenging rotationally. And Steph Curry spoke to it right after the game last night. We'll play that for you in a little bit. I thought he was spot on. But the reason I say, why are the Warriors the 10 seed? Weakness in numbers. This is one of the first years I've ever seen that when a team does have too many good players and, well, there's only one ball. Oh, that's a good problem to have. This year was actually a problem. It was actually a problem where you had too many people who could claim a starting or a finishing spot. Look at the first words that came out of Warriors camp this year. Chris Paul walked in. Malika Andrews goes, you ready to come off the bench? He goes, you coaching? And from that moment forward, that whole subject has been filled with angst all year long. All year long.
Not his fault.
No, he's only one of the characters in this show.
11 different guys have started.
There you go.
12 different Warriors have averaged more than 15 minutes a game.
They have lacked definition the whole time, and it has led to being 4, 5, 6, whatever, 7 games behind sort of the field where I think they would sit now in terms of their ability. So that's my answer. It's not an excuse. Doesn't mean they're not the 10 seed. They are. But I do think that as we sit here today, if you ask me if they're the 10th best team in the Western Conference today, oh, hell no.
No, of course not.
Not even close.
Probably 5th or 6th,
right,
to be honest, which ultimately will get resolved next week in the play-in. And I don't think that it's so much weakness in numbers as it is weakness in the players that they were banking on. Klay Thompson had 2 months where he was not Klay Thompson. He wasn't very good. Draymond Green had a month and a half where he was unavailable because he could not control himself. He couldn't control his temper. He couldn't control his fisticuffs. He couldn't control his chokehold, so he was unavailable. Andrew Wiggins had 2 months, maybe more, where he was not the Andrew Wiggins that he's been over the last 2 weeks. Chris Paul was not Chris Paul because he broke his hand, and he missed 6 weeks. So as you run down weakness in numbers...
But that's what I'm getting at.
But I don't think it's fair to look at the other guys like Pods and TJD and Kuminga and Moody
but they're
and
pups.
Looney.
They're all pups.
They're pups who had to come in and fill in for the guys who were supposed to carry the water.
Right.
So for me, it's not weakness in numbers. It's the stars were weak. That's the issue.
That's what I'm getting at. We're saying the exact same thing.
Right. I didn't know where you were directing directing the weakness, because to me, the biggest issue was it's Draymond, Klay, Chris, and Andrew.
These numbers didn't all fit, and a lot of the guys didn't handle it well. Jonathan Kuminga calls shams. Klay goes on a mental journey, needs 4 heart-to-hearts with Steve Kerr. Draymond goes sideways, gets suspended. Andrew Wiggins leaves again, even though only for a short period of time. You had all of these things happening at once. The only guy who handled it well is the guy who didn't end up getting into the final rotation, which is Moses Moody. But all of these guys spent time this year not handling the situation well, and therefore being either unavailable physically or mentally. And that's led to now. The good thing is now they're all handling it. Kuminga's happy. Klay's happy. Chris Paul's happy. Moses Moody probably not happy. But they're all... Andrew Wiggins by the way, Andrew Wiggins starting to look like the guy that we've decided is never coming back again. They all look happy. They look comfortable. They have figured it out. It doesn't mean they're not going to lose next Wednesday night.
Of course.
But that's my answer as to why they ended up as the 10 seed, even though we all think they're better than 10th place in the West.
Well, they should be, but they're not, and they're not for obvious reasons. And you just laid it out, and you and I both laid out the reasons why you're the 10 seed, and that's why I ultimately lean on the fact that you are what your record says, because all those things